Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is FittedDexter. Welcome back to Dark Souls 2 First Impressions Part 2, I might say. The reason why this is split into two parts because I have a lot to talk about and not enough video space to, well, to put it up, essentially. Well, not really video space, more of the lines of, what's it called again? Upload speed, that's right. Terribly sorry, I lost my mind for a split second. Anyway, so, Dark Souls 2 gameplay is pretty much exactly the same as Dark Souls 1. They have added a few other things, like the ability to do dual-wield weapons in both hands. I'm not entirely too sure if they had that in the previous one, but I'm not entirely too sure, if I'm honest. I always stuck to the classic, shield and sword. So I never really varied from that in the first Dark Souls. So let's focus on the problems, because we already know the gameplay in Dark Souls is already really, really good. So I don't really need to touch much on that. The problems with it is boss fights. The boss fights are extremely lacking. There's very few that I would say, yeah, this is cool. This is how I like it. Most of the boss fights just seem to be of another dude in armor. And that's kind of disappointing. I mean, really disappointing compared to the first Dark Souls with the open heart surgery dragon. I was hoping for something else like that. But instead we get, well, another dude in armor. Seriously, there is a lot of dudes in armors. A good example would have to be when you get to pretty much the late game. Late game or mid game? I'm not entirely too sure, really. But it's when you're going up against the Looking Glass Knight. And once again, he sounds exactly how you would expect. He's another dude in armor. And that's really disappointing. I generally thought it was going to be a little more interesting than that, but turns out I was mistaken. So that's just me. That's just me. But then the boss fight after that is, again, pretty lackluster, because then you have to go then you first, the Demon of Song, I believe it is, and that's pretty, okay, I guess. It's an interesting fight, but still, it feels kind of, generic video game standard, which again is okay, but not amazing. Then the boss fight pretty much straight after that is, I believe it's Vastille. I hope I am saying that right, otherwise I'm going to have the entire Dark Souls community come out of the woodwork and go, "It's not Vastille, idiot, you idiot, it's this. I'm like, alright, I'm generally sorry. And again, but he's, again, another dude in armor. I mean, you verse three ruined sentinels all at once, which they're all dudes in armor. I'm sick of fighting dudes in armor. I want more open heart surgery dragons. Do we get in this? Not really, not unless you count the Ratkin. And that's a really shitty fight, I might say. And again, rather than focus on maybe damage dealt or hitboxes, they more or less focused on how many enemies can we get into this one boss fight. And that's really stupid in my opinion. I do not like how they just decide to go, alright, let's just throw even more enemies at the player. It feels unfair, and Dark Souls has always been harsh but fair. And how it just throws multiple bosses or multiple enemies at you in the same time when it's already stressful enough in a boss fight is just really, really unfair. And it's stupid. I said before, the 3 Rune Sentinels. 3! All at once, are you kidding? That's just ludicrous. Ludicrous, I tell you. So when they keep on doing it constantly with the Ratkin boss, as I mentioned previously, You have to kill a certain amount of these followers in order to bring out the boss. And they just keep spawning and spawning and spawning. That is unfair. That is just not good game development. It feels very lazy. And that's the problem with Dark Souls 2. They focused on the difficulty rather than let's just make a game. They focused on let's make Dark Souls really hard, and it can be really hard. But at the same time, it's pretty accessible to everyone else, which is, fair enough, I guess. But still, it's kind of annoying, you might say. So, I'm not entirely too sure on why. So, I don't know what happened in the development process. Hopefully with the DLC patch that comes out... Sorry, I'm losing my voice today. Hopefully with the DLC patch, they will bring out a few more creative bosses, because there's very few that are staying in my mind. I'm just like, oh my god, that's pretty lackluster. The boss that gets a lot of praise would be the Smelter Demon, if I believe that's right. And still, in my opinion, that's another dude in an armor, except he's, swinging around a great sword that can pretty much, burst you into flames, which is okay, I guess. So, I'm kind of done, in a way, with the boss fights in Dark Souls, and I do planning on finishing it as well, because there are still more dudes in armor that I do have to push down to a bloody heap, which I very much plan on doing and enjoying it. However, don't take my criticism as a negative thing. It's more along the lines of a concern with Dark Souls. And that's what has me worried about the Dark Souls future, which I will touch on in the third and final part in the next video. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been FittedDexter. Thank you all very much for watching. I have very much enjoyed Dark Souls. I do give it my blessing in you to pick it up, because it's a Souls game. They're always pretty good, harsh, but usually fair. This one, maybe not. Oh well, still fun to play though, regardless. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, women and children of all ages, my name has been FittedDexter. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time.